Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Gaming with Blockchain. I'm your host, A and this is going to be practically almost like a three-in-one rollout, simply because we're going to be discussing the challenges that a lot of players, including myself, have been experiencing for the last 10 days, which has limited the ability to really engage in the games that we enjoy due to growth. It's just pure growth. It has nothing to do with fault or anything like that. And I really have to stress that. I've been hearing a lot of been reading a lot of comments and complaints about, oh, well, I used to be able to do this. I used to be able to do that. And one thing if we have to really acknowledge that all these games are new. They're brand new. They have not been a year, and so they're all evolving very organically. Alien Worlds was one of those. They've been hit with a lot of issues and pertaining to the influx, and I'll describe what that means. And that if you're a driver or even if you take public transit, if any incident happens outside the norm, that means all the traffic, all the redirection has to happen somewhere else. So the route that you suddenly are taking, all of a sudden it becomes very congested in an instant. Now, luckily for real life, those things are kind of temporary, right? You get a crew that kind of resolves the issue, and then over time, things start to flow normally. But what's happening in the gaming side, remember, there's an impact. There's a constant flux of new players coming on top of the existing players, so they're hitting new thresholds. They're hitting new milestones. They're hitting new experiences, new challenges that they have to now. Okay, this is new. Where's this coming from? And they have to resolve it. That means new programming, new coding, all these things that take time. It's not something that happens at the drop of a dime. And if you're in for the long term, then you'll understand it. This is not gaming mechanics, at least from my opinion, that is here today and gone tomorrow. This is not a rug pull. We've seen this all happening in a lot of the crypto space, and people constantly are falling victim to it because everyone's looking for the easiest, quickest, short route. Generally, when people are doing that, you are supporting that 1%. They're the ones who gain because someone at the bottom is always going to lose. And this is what the games are trying to avoid. They're trying to make sure the playing field is as equal as possible. Yes, you'll never have 100% equalization, but it's still better than a 1 to 99%, right? So here, let's take a look. That's enough of my rant. What's been going on? I've been experiencing it. You've been experiencing it. You've been seeing it on Discord, Twitter, Telegram. Everyone's up in arms. Oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. Why? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's see how Alien Worlds is now resolving this. And part of that is again bringing in as much efficiency to the game as the game continues to grow. So part of that now is challenging with the luck. They've done it now with the NFT. They've said, okay, we've now allocated claiming NFTs back to the users. You want to claim your NFT. If you've been lucky enough to receive one, then you have to do it on your own. We are no longer doing it automatically. But now, what's it means now in terms of the luck of NFTs? They've now had to restructure that, and again, it makes sense. When you have growth, you have to kind of allocate or see where these resources are being drained or probably not efficiently utilized, and they've done that. So they've now said, okay, the NFT, we can no longer sustain providing NFTs for every single mine, especially with the numbers where the number of players growing as they are. Imagine you have 2 million people, 2 million players, and even if it's at 10,000 at once, but now the numbers are 220,000 mining at the same time. You have to now provide an NFT out of the blue randomly, depending on luck, every time they click mine, every time they mine. So practically that was not going to be sustainable. And so they've now adjusted how that luck allocation be applied, and that means within an hour, how much, depending on how much times you've mined, your luck would be allocated within that hour's accumulation. Which means if you mine 10 times, whatever your luck ratio is, times 10. And then it doesn't mean you will get an NFT. This is what people have to understand. It still means it's just what your luck ratio will be within that hour. do you have the opportunity to receive an NFT? And they've also put in what those allocations can pair out to be. And here you have them. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that's again etched in stone. This is something that will progressively change as the game demands. So I'll be interested to see. I don't mind that often. I've put in Discord and other channels. I mind again to my style. I'll play maybe every hour and a half, 2 hours, give or take. Sometimes I'll leave the overnights, but that's my ratio. So no matter what, if the mining allocation it's based on what's been cumulative within an hour, it's then my one mine within that 1 hour or every 2 hours or such. So it may not even change for me because I'm doing it basically almost every hour, every 2 hours, anyways. But does it mean that does it increase or decrease? That's yet to be determined because it's again something that's unknown. So I, I like the idea and I appreciate the idea that Alien Worlds is looking into maintaining the efficiency of the game, the longevity of the game, and basically addressing challenges that the game will have. Because remember, if they want to do Thunderdome, the Thunderdome rewards and everything else will have the same applications or same impact. Then you have the missions on Binance. If all of a sudden you have this growing influx of new players, things have to be adjusted accordingly. You have to grow with the game as the game happens. So it's all about being as agile as possible, but still staying true to what it is they're trying to achieve. So I have no issues. I say carry on, continue to mine. So now we're going to move forward, and we're going to now touch base on our planet. Our planet now has Lieutenant Raccoon and Dr. Rabbit created their new elements, and as you can see them here, a bunch of new elements that yet to craft and bring on board. But the challenge has been really, really difficult for a lot of players in the last 10 days. Many frustrations that were surfacing due to the generator locking out or all kinds of issues. And unfortunately, our planet did not respond soon enough to kind of quelch the concerns. But finally, they did look into it and found out that there was some kind of issue, and they were able to resolve it. And I can say the generator tool has been performing a hell of a lot better than it did in the last few days. In fact, it was performing as well as when I first attempted it. And my team member just concurred because they were able to finally get a pickaxe after so many failures, so many, bought Aether for the sake of Aether, but not finishing the task. They're able to now at least get the pickaxe and participate again and continue to participate in the staking rewards. So I think it's important that not only that that if issues happen, they at least be aware of these issues and make these comments on board. But like anything else, they're probably all behind the scenes trying to figure out what's going on and then say, okay, yeah, well we got to fix this. And as everything else, they're bringing in their own artwork as well. You've seen they had the challenges. I've shown that the last episode. So each project, part of the huge ecosystem, is now I should say, gradually bringing their own identity. I showed it to you in Upland, and they have their own style. Alien Worlds has their own style. Our planet, you see their own style. It's a unique little feature. So everyone's beginning to kind of come into their own and solidify their presence and their brand, really. So this is going to be interesting. And as usual, so once these tools are invented, they're as quickly disappearing. Like this, basically maybe about an hour. I say, I don't know if you guys are, if any of you are playing the game and you've been crafting and you start early, how long do any of these things last? I know it's not a day. I can promise you that. I don't even think it's even half a day. I truly think that within an hour, hour and a half, majority of these new elements are gone. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. So we're left with just these two. But there's one that's just been invented, one that just came on board for a nice prize, and it hasn't been updated here in the sheet yet. But here, check this one out. The NFT has been created, and you can see the cost of to make this NFT is 59 plus million Ether. That's a good puppy. That's what's going to cost you to make this nice NFT. But congratulations to the person who invented it. It's gonna be definitely a well deserved reward moving forward. So if you guys you got to be on the ball. You got to be part of Discord. You got to or at least have some kind of link that gives you information when the new um, elements are created, so that you can get immediately on board to see how to craft them or not. So if I even look at the tools, in which I thought I had the tools here, um, let me see our plant tools if I had it, because I usually do. Let's see if we have here. We want to look at the stool, because that's the last one I saw here. And the stool's gone, and you can see the cost to make a stool. So you can see, even though it's, like I said, the sheet's not updated as yet, but you can take a look at some of these elements, and blink of an eye, they they disappear, and they disappear quite quickly. But it's something else for players to aim for and look to achieve. So I hope you enjoy that, and carry on. Like as I said, these are all games that are new, and they're all going through their hiccups. And yes, it's a major challenge, and sometimes a major pain. Um, but do you believe in the game? That's always been my question. Do you believe in the game? And here's the NFT now lit up. If you believe in it, and you see where it's going, and you're willing to be patient, the rewards will come your way. Okay, so now we're moving on to Uplift. And yes, I have not been touching base about Uplift for a while, and primarily because we we were hesitant in how to what we're going to do. Not so much how. We were not we understand the game, but for neither either of our team, this is not something that is part of our forte. It's not something we're very familiar with. It's not our style, if you want to call it that. But at the same time, we pooled our resources to buy land, and the challenge here was, well, if we pooled together, who or how do we have control on these lands to build? And I know they were discussing, okay, how they're going to grant land keys on for landowners and everything else. And we were like, okay, how can we do this? How is this going to work? I mean, okay, we get one land key, but we maybe want to add another team player or add a builder, and we were just hesitant. And yes, definitely we want to get on board, and we want to start to build something. But then first we have to find out, okay, access, and then determine, okay, what we're going to build, and then determine, okay, is the size appropriate enough for these builds. And we're getting a little closer. Thankfully, Uplift has been, I say, refining the website, making the entry points a little clearer, and allowing players to, or even new players, to kind of step by step guide through what is Minecraft. It's a different world. It's far different than most of the games that we're all generally familiar with. This is truly a unique experience, and what I'm going to show you right now is all going to be based on 2D. So you can imagine what the 3D side will look like. So if you have your land, and you have a wax wallet, then you're already practically there. So to get started, you have to go through the starter guide, and go through the details that they provide here. You sign up with your wallet, get your access keys, which I had shown you a while back in the previous episode. Um, and then make sure you have the Java, because you need the Java in order to link your land to your Wax account, or then have access to the Minecraft server. And then you enter the Uplift World. So once you enter the Uplift World, it's going to ask you for your Wax ID, so your Wax wallet, or you can just connect now, and then your link and your account name. So I've already done that, and right now it's going to show me what my account is. So here I am. I'm signed up. I can unlink the land I have right now. Now that I know we can share access, so I may start to unlink some of these. We haven't determined that yet. We have yet to have that under discussion. But then you can see that the chain is now linked to my Wax wallet for me. And then I go to my keys, and it'll tell me what my keys are, and I can go and look on the plot and see where it is in the 2D game. So if I go here now, if you look back here, this is my 14 by 16, 50 by 50 in random land. So it's a random section, the land type. Remember what they were discussing here, your Minecraft username, your unique ID, the wallet you have, and the sections of what your land keys are like. So I will now go here. So this is my land I have. So if I click here, if you can see at the bottom of the screen, it tells me 14. That's my 1 point to my 50, which is 50 by 50, down to my Y, which is my 1650. So here is the 14 side, this is the 16 side, and this is the whole 50 by 50 grid. This is one of the lands that I have right now. And looking at this 2D side, I can see markers, which are, or other players if I want to. Right now, this server, because I'm in the random server, has 22 players playing around. So here's one, here's a few. I can see markers, and the markers are, depending on where you are, they can show up or not. Oh, here's a marker right here. These are what's called markers. So I can turn this, and then I can turn it back on. Okay, so these are features now that excuse me, that can help you visualize what it is that you could be doing in your space. Again, it's just 2D, is not 3D, but what it has helped is in terms of gain accessibility. Right now, I can bring in the keys, go back, click, and assign to somebody. That was something that was not possible before. We could not determine how we're going to have access to the lands that we have, and then be able to mutually do what we need to if we wanted to, and that was something we were concerned about. So we kind of held back on any kind of development until we were more or less sure what we'd be able to do and how to do it, which now leads to Upliftium. We know about the whole Upliftium. We've seen it with the whole Yoshi rewards and what that all means, right? So let's go back to the main page, and let's look at the YoshiDrops. And you've been seeing this in Twitter, Telegram, Discord, any social media going around about the whole Upliftium and YoshiDrops. And what does that mean? There's a ranking system now. So of course, the more YoshiDrops you have, this little battery charger provides incentive to showcase how we're trying to keep the green in the planet, being more conscientious of how we utilize our resources. And they're doing this through the music industry, and again, also redefining what the music industry means, and how artists can have more control of their own creative content moving forward into this new realm. So this is part of the program. This is part of the achievements that they're doing, and I'll touch base a bit more on what the mechanisms are in terms of, I guess, the layers. But you can see here there's going to be a ranking system. Okay, let's go back. That's not good. I'm not sure why that's happening. But you'll see there's a ranking system of where you can be placed if you look further into it and if you're into it. Again, it's all about how you communicate, how you are part of the community. Sorry, we haven't purchased any more Yoshi coins recently. We just haven't. I think we maxed our budget. We have to now revise our budget and see if we how far we want to go in this program, and determine. It's again, it's all about choices and determining where you want to place yourself. But what does that mean in terms of the uplift and upliftium? So I now have this super tiny drop, as you can see, super tiny drop, and I also have alpha wings, which are not showing up here, which I'm not sure why. They were showing before, and there we go. So tiny, and haven't done any, how do they say, upgrade or leveling up just yet. And there's nothing to claim because this function is not available at the moment. So if you're wondering where the Upliftium and the Yoshi coins, these are the areas. So I encourage you to go and look at the Uplift World website. It's been revamped and reconstructed. Again, a lot cleaner in terms of clarity on the project. How to do things has been better supported. And then again, having the window now for the keys, definitely helpful. I mean, now even for ourselves, we're now determining, okay, if we want to execute an idea, okay, do we keep the land as it is? Do we collaborate with the land adjacent to us or surrounding area? Do we buy the land or make an offer? These are all kinds of questions now. Again, as a developer, if you want to now develop a space or develop an entity, so if you're in there and you're playing, what's your feedback? How you're approaching it? Definitely would love to know more about your objectives, if you so desire to choose and share. That's entirely up to you. So now I'll say adieu and we'll continue on to the next segment. But I definitely want to say a thank you to all the followers and those continue to share and provide feedback and insight. It's been very welcoming and definitely appreciate it. So until next time.